So, y'all, I'm on my way to Fargo, North Dakota. Now, some of y'all may be like, wait, North Dakota? I forgot that was a state. Because that's what I think every fucking time I hear the state North Dakota be mentioned, right? I'm going to do orientation for another company. Their hub, my truck drivers will be familiar with this, their main place is up out of Fargo, North Dakota. Now, I'm going to keep y'all posted on how that go. I got a long-ass motherfucking drive up there, but I'm not in my big truck. I'm in just, they rented me a car, so I'm driving a car up there. So we're going to have a lot of things to talk about in this time that I spend in North Dakota, if they don't kick me out that motherfucker almost immediately, right? But nonetheless, y'all, I want to talk about Mysonne. I want to talk about Vlad. I want to talk about Godfrey. I want to talk about Lord Jamar and Minister Farakhan. I want to talk about all this shit. Well, I got plenty of time, right? Apparently, Vlad, which we've discussed Vlad before here, he is just a cave who has decided to build a platform. Well, not going to say he decided, he was allowed to build a platform using black people's, really just deciphering off black people's soul and spirit. That's really all it is. Every time somebody goes sit in front of Vlad, he just pulling your spirit and soul out, and he's getting that revenue based on it. Okay? Now, black people go on a show, get exposure, whatever, right? Don't have an issue with that, per se. But apparently, Vlad he misquoted Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, y'all know how the fuck I feel about Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. If you've been following me for long enough, you know. Before you say, well, Rob, I don't know how you feel, go back, okay? Go through my channel, search Nation of Islam, my live channel. Y'all can just do, I'm not going to go back and do all that work for y'all. The people who've been fucking with me already know what it is. Mad love to y'all, right? But this won't be about me defending Farakhan. It'll be about black people defending the caves. Now, we understand that every other culture, and particularly when we're talking about the so-called Jewish culture, they just made an example out of y'all's boy, Nick Coonan, here recently. Remember? Talked about that too. Y'all defended him still. And Nick has continued to be on some coon shit since he started his old I need to go apologize to the caves little tour. Right? He's continued to coon. But these are the people y'all like to save, right? Anytime black people do anything, y'all seen these same apologies happen when someone says something like, well, if you're born a man, you're a man. You can't even say that. You could have tweeted that 35 years ago. You get famous, you gotta apologize. You said that. Black folks stay having to apologize. Here comes Vlad, misquotes Farakhan, but he won't apologize for it. He said he wouldn't apologize for it. And again, it ain't about Farakhan. It's about principle. And so many black people our minds are so fucking silly that we don't understand concepts when it comes to principle. I listened to Lord Jamar and Godfrey give their explanation, how they called him up, told him to say he was sorry and all this shit. And he said, well, I want to have a face-to-face with Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, I don't fuck with Farrakhan, but I know you can't just request a face-to-face on your channel to apologize, and that's the only way you gonna do it, is what was said. Now, Godfrey is defending this point. Godfrey says, well, I think that's the right thing to do. He's face-to-face, that's how it should be done. But he don't see the ploy or the plot in that, the culture vulture in that alone. Of course, you want Farrakhan to come on your platform so you can get all the views for it. I mean, this is basic shit. Now, I've not had many issues with Godfrey before. He's been one of the people. I've done, reposted some of the stuff that he said before. You know, Godfrey goes on. He tries to do his best to have that pro-black mentality while being funny and still trying to be fair and liked. And, you know, he's able to toe that line. But this right here, Brother Godfrey, you're completely missing the point. You're completely missing how you're being used to get Vlad in a position where he has Farakhan, Louis Farrakhan, on his channel, as opposed to one of his representatives. Vlad does not deserve to really be sitting around Louis Farrakhan. He's not that person. He's trying to use this shit for clout. Godfrey, you should be smart enough to see that. I'm not going to run down on you and call you no full-blown coon. What I will say is you need to take a step back, look at what's being said here. Now, he's not going to apologize unless it's to his face on his channel on camera. How could you not see that? What's happening here? Right? And Lord Jamar saying the same type of shit. Now, I understand Vlad is giving you to a platform to get your opinions out. But, I mean, come the fuck on. If that's your friend, like y'all claim it is, because I would argue that he's not your friend. I would argue that he's not. But if you're claiming this is your friend, y'all cool like that, then he should be understanding as to how he out of pocket. And how his request is even disrespectful to the culture. And if y'all can't make him see that, then y'all should not be his friend any longer. Which you should have not been fucking with him like that, but y'all should have been, it should have been a use capacity. Like, well, I'll use you for the same reason you're using me. Why you calling a motherfucker your friend based on that? Black folk, pay attention. Because y'all, we seem to have this problem. We be thinking we got friends when it's really people just using us. We have a tendency to confuse the roles that we have here when we are being friends with the caves. Typically, the relationship works one way. We have to be mindful of that. I don't give a fuck if you got somebody's phone number. Like, I don't know. I'm listening to these motherfuckers. Like, well, yeah, I called him up. Motherfucker love it. Well, I called him up. Like, what the fuck that mean you got his number? That doesn't mean anything. You're not friends. You think if you black and you have this fucking cave-ass friend, you'd have to explain this to them? How wrong it was for you to take a quote or take a bit of a clip? Put it out there because you already have issues with Farakhan anyway because you're a so-called Jew, and Farrakhan, he done gave the so-called Jews a little work. Right? He's done that. He already has a problem with Farrakhan. He don't really, that's why he would misquote him. That's why he would do that. And say, well, I'm not gonna say sorry unless I talk to him face to face. That's for click views. That's for clickbait. Lord Jamar, Godfrey, Godfrey been going hard for this shit. Well, I'm the one bridging. I'm the one trying to make it cool because I'm cool with Farrakhan's son, and I called him and said that we trying to bridge this gap. Godfrey, come on, man. It's almost like, you do one of them little skits. Godfrey here. Maybe you need that motherfucking person to come tell you that you in the goddamn wrong here. Like, listen to yourself. I'm trying to make this happen. I understand why Vlad want him to come do it. That's really the only way to do it. No, he won't click views. That's it. That's all. And you're being used to bridge that gap. And think you're doing something. You think you're doing something. You're doing nothing but being used. And the fact that you can't see that shows that you have a bit of a blind spot when it comes to certain caves. So I'm worried about you. This is the same thing I said about Mysonne, who was another one who, now I'm going to go in on him, because this is more than one infraction Mysonne has had. I'm going to get him a little light on Brother Godfrey. Mysonne has had more than one infraction. I've gotten into a going back and forth with Mysonne. And I try to tell y'all about Mysonne, but like most things, y'all don't want to listen to me. I guess I don't say it right? Some years back, Mysonne, which I don't fuck with Mysonne, I don't fuck with Tamika Mallory. I know y'all like those people. Not disrespecting Tamika, but Mysonne, they roll tight like that. Some Democratic Party shit. Right? Democratic Party, that's what they be on. It was at one time Mysonne was at a state capitol building where he was standing with white hoes. Because this is around the time he made that remix to that song that Jordan Lucas put out. And I forgot how the fucking song he did that remix. Everybody was like, oh shit, my son woke as fuck, son. So everybody did that. I said, okay, maybe he'll woke ass motherfucker. But then I saw this, and I called this out, and the fact that he responded to me when I called it out, but he didn't respond to me like, well, damn, you right, man. I ain't even look at it like that. Because if you're a black person and you standing with white hoes, and they never staying with you, because that's how I told him, like, bro, why the fuck you standing with white hoes? Well, this really about, all women, man. No, but you're standing with white hoes, though. You're standing and defending white hoes. It was a video where he was doing this shit. Like, what are you doing? White hoes, white cave hoes don't never stand with you. They're never defending you. You have to be shot to even get an honorable mention. You have to be murdered to even get an honorable mention from the caves. Now, I didn't say this part, but this is what we must see by now. What I did say was they never defend you. Why are you defending them? Now, instead of being like, damn, I never even thought about it like that. Let me get away from these white hoes. You know what he did? He all lives mattered me. And at that point, I said, oh shit, he one of them. And ever since then, and that was about maybe 3-4 years ago, when I came out and exposed that, y'all told me I was tripping. Ever since then, I've had nothing of any interest to hear what that motherfucker got to say. Because he a all lives matter ass nigga. At his core. See, the thing about a lot of these so-called pro-black, you have to be careful that at their core, they're not an all lives matter ass nigga. Because at the core root of these motherfuckers, a lot of these motherfuckers, they all lives matter ass niggas. They're here to appease everybody. Now I listen to Mysonne have this live discussion with Royce the 5'9", a rapper out of Detroit, if you're not familiar with who Royce is. Now Royce is trying to explain to him why it is necessary for Vlad to apologize. Mysonne is sitting here saying how Vlad shouldn't have to apologize in any type of way because he's already righted the wrong by taking down the video or whatever he put out and saying that he misquoted him. Royce sitting here trying to make my songs all lives matter as realize how fucking stupid it is that he will be defending Vlad's position to not apologize. Now, just look at the position Mysonne is in. You're defending a cave. That should already be a problem. Now, apparently, Mysonne has received funds from Vlad. And black folk can't take money from white folk or the caves and look at it as reparations. We always feel like we indebted to these motherfuckers if they give us some money. We feel like we're indebted to these motherfuckers if they give us some attention. We feel like we're indebted to these motherfuckers if they allow us on their platforms. That's low self-esteem. That's what that is. We're not indebted. Motherfucker, you can give me $1 million Monday. I can say, okay, you jump out here on some motherfucking disrespectful ass shit on a Tuesday. I don't give a fuck about that million you gave me. I don't feel like I owe you anything because motherfucker, you disrespected. I don't owe you anything. I don't give a fuck how much you gave me, how much exposure. Even if you would have built my whole career, I don't owe you anything. Clearly, you don't feel like you owe me because you out here being disrespectful, being wrong as fuck, and trying to make another dollar off my people. You doing it again. Vlad, you got a habit of doing this. You know, you cave motherfucker. You have a habit. Now, my son sits here and defends Vlad. Now, I didn't watch the entire thing. The shit was an hour long. But I knew that my son is an all lives matter ass nigga. That's what he is at his core. He doesn't understand that black people should have a certain code when it comes to dealing with these caves. Motherfucker, you don't get to get off. Really, you don't get to get off at all, if you ask me. But if the requirement is that you apologize, you don't get to make a demand for you to apologize. How? How would we allow the caves to set those terms and us be okay with it? See, my son don't get this. This man setting terms on, he allowing Vlad to set the terms on his apology, or just say he's not going to apologize at all. Because my son said he don't even feel like that's necessary. He don't feel like, he used that whole black people aren't a monolith arguments with Royce. Y'all know I just posted about that on my Instagram. Ain't that something that coons using now? Don't it seem funny? Black people aren't a monolith. Black people don't all think alike. That's an excuse that coons use to coon. That's all it is. I don't think like y'all. I'm like 90% coon. This woke shit is only something I do on Wednesdays. That's the excuse. That's what I've noticed it being used as an black people in the monolith. We don't all think alike. There isn't but one way black people should be thinking when it comes to codes, when it comes to blackness, when it comes to being unapologetic. Ain't but one way. And if you niggas ain't thinking on the same way, then that's why we fucking losing. This is the problem with you niggas. This is the problem with us as a whole. We like to brag about how we don't think alike. That we don't even have a common goal. We can't even decide and figure out what respect is and what disrespect is. Well, I don't see that as a problem. It wouldn't matter if I saw it as a problem or not. It wouldn't matter. Why am I saying that? And to defend a cave that's not even around. We defending caves. And Royce made that point. Just based on the conversation they was having alone, Vlad is winning. Because we're arguing about the caves. I don't fuck with Vlad. So what he does doesn't affect me. But if black people say that motherfucker needs to apologize to Farakhan, I don't fuck with Farakhan. You think I'm gonna come on here and say, well, nah, he don't really gotta do that just because I don't fuck with Farakhan? See, this is the problem. I understand codes. We don't. We don't understand codes. I don't fuck with Vlad. I don't fuck with Farakhan. Black folks said that motherfucker need to goddamn apologize. I say, you damn right that cave bitch hoe ass motherfucker need to apologize. And really, y'all need to stop supporting this bitch ass motherfucker. I'm gonna do all that. I'm not gonna be my sign. Well, you know, he don't really gotta do all that, man. You know, he ain't just. Then Godfrey, when I watched what Godfrey was saying, as to how he bridged it, Godfrey say Vlad got a black wife and mixed kids. You know, black folk, they eat that type of shit up. That's how y'all let some of these other white motherfuckers slide. You know, if they got them a coon in the cave, then y'all feel like they invited to the cookout and all this shit. As long as they got a coon in the cave with them, y'all cool with that. Now, I didn't know Vlad had a black wife and mixed kid. I didn't know anything about that, you know. That's what Godfrey said when he was talking to Lord Jamar about this and him trying to bridge that gap. But The nation done said all this motherfucker can hope to get is a representative. That's all you get. You're nobody. And if I was the nation, I wouldn't even do that. Motherfucker, you get tweeted. I don't really give a fuck about the way it's, because I know what it's going to be used for. It's going to be used for views. And then possibly if one of the representatives come, he may say something else inflammatory just to, use that to get more views. It's a game of views and clicks, y'all. It's a game of views and clicks. So I need people to understand that. Now again, Godfrey, you have the chance to correct the shit you own. But I'm only going to give you have a short window to correct it. If you keep explaining it the way you explaining it, then I'm going to have to be done with you too. Now, that may not mean anything to you, because who am I, right? And people still going to rock with you regardless, because again, who the fuck am I? I mean, it is what it is. You have a chance to correct this, to see how you're being used, and stop defending this motherfucking cave ass, bitch ass, hoe ass, motherfucking Vlad. Some would call him a culture vulture and all that, whatever. He a cave to me. A Jewish cave or whatever, Russian Jewish cave. Stop defending him. Stop letting him use you to try to get a face-to-face. Understand how he's using you and how he's insulting your intelligence. You don't have to do that for him. You don't have to work for him like that. You don't owe him shit because you be on his fucking videos. That's you. Vlad don't do nothing but sit there. He don't say nothing cool, witty, funny. He's not even a good interviewer. It's you. So don't feel like you owe him. Lord Jamar, come on, man. Come on, man. Vlad, your friend, like, come on, man. You and Godfrey, y'all got a chance to goddamn stand up, hold your fucking head up, poke your motherfucking chest out, and bang on this bitch ass. And let that be that. And fuck if he don't let you back on this platform. So what? Fuck that shit. We got to stop tucking our pride to be able to be in their spaces. Fuck that. Mysonne, you're a full-blown motherfucking coon, bruh. Full-blown. Now, people gonna let you get away with being so-called pro-black because they've been letting you get away with it. Even when I told them you was an all lives matter ass nigga, they let you get away with this. They don't understand. They didn't understand what it meant for you to be standing defending white bitches. They didn't get that. But now we watch you sit here and stand and defend a motherfucking goddamn white cave ass man. Now we watch you do that. So they didn't understand what was coming. I saw it early. And no matter what you do, that's all I'll ever see of you because you think that shit is righteous. For you to stand around with caves and defend them. But that's all the fuck I wanted to say, y'all. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Links to follow me on social media in the description box. Black first, second, and third. And understand that the importance of black first, second, and third is because even with the black first, say Godfrey, or even some of y'all consider Mysonne, that pro-black shit, there's levels to this shit. And I think it takes more than one coat in the black. It takes more than one coat. It takes more than that first coat is just your skin. That second coat is your motherfucking mentality. That third coat is your heart. It's all black. See, a lot of motherfuckers got black skin. Maybe black mind, ain't got no black heart. A lot of people just got black hearts or, they're different combinations. If you're not on all three levels, then you will end up being used like a Godfrey, like Lord Jamar. Or you'll end up being a full-blown coon-ass nigga like a Mysonne, who fronts, he puts his fist up sometime. Him and Tamika Mallory sitting around telling black people to go vote Democrat and that's going to save us. That should be problematic. But you'll have these so-called pro-blacks out here telling black folk to go vote Democrat. That's the type of shit that when I say black first, second, and third, that's what it's about. Because, no, No, you don't get to be pro-black and tell black people to go vote Democrat. You don't get to be pro-black and sit around and defend caves. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. In my opinion. So that's why I added layers to it. Black first, skin. Second, your mind. Third, your heart. And you don't sacrifice this shit for no motherfucking body. You don't give a fuck who watching. You don't give a fuck who looking. You're not trying to please nobody. You don't give a fuck about cave approval or what the fuck they did for you. Or so-called did for you. You're not into all that. You don't give a fuck about that. You call it how you see it. That's what this shit all about. For those that may be confused as to why I do B123 Rock, why you do all that, man? What is that? Because there's too many of y'all, these so-called B1 motherfuckers out here, still cooning. They ain't coded enough. They not codified enough. But shout out Team Rock, y'all already know what the fuck it is. I'm out.